Hey, welcome back to EOTECH. Today we are talking about this awesome range bag and really more importantly, what you bring to the range. A couple of friendly suggestions from us because we've been doing this for a while and we'd like to save you some time and effort because time is precious and it's our most valuable resource. So when you have time to go to the range, you've got all your cool stuff together. You've got your, your awesome pistol with your E-Flex. You've got your rifle with your HWS. That's super cool. We also make a variety of other things to help you out, like this collaboration we did with Armageddon Gear for this really nice range bag. And ultimately, what you're gonna put in it is what this video is about. Because like I said, again, once you get out to the range, time is precious and was expensive. And we want you to have the best training time out there with you and your friends, get all that good value. Now, I know you guys are all excited to see what is in this bag of goodies. However, most important before we get into this is having medical with you. Firearms are awesome, but also inherently dangerous. And so having medical equipment with you and the knowledge to use it, extra important. Now, you can either keep that in your range bag. However, personally, I like to keep it on me because again, like I may be away from my range bag downrange and need it all of a sudden for myself or others. And so I have my medical kit right here. This is the HSGI medical kit. You can pick whichever one you want. There's a lot of great ones out there. You got a bunch of stuff from Focus Research in it. But in general, either have it on your belt, have it on a bag you take with you downrange, or have it in your range bag. But please take medical with you when you're going to the range for sure. However you want to store it, that's up to you. And now let's dig into the bag. So let's dig into what we recommend at a minimum bringing to the range. Starting off with magazines. So here we got this nice little mesh pocket up front and we've got some rifle and pistol mags. Preloading your mags ahead of time is a super handy dandy thing, which I did here for my pistol mags and two of my rifle mags because I don't follow my own advice. But that's okay, it just saves you time out there on the range, especially if you have limited time ammo like most of us do. It's a nice thing to have and it's really nice to be able to just have all your mags right here. You're gonna need those, probably most. So you can access them right here without having to dig into the rest of your bag. So that's a pretty handy pocket. Getting into the main compartment here, we've got some pretty important stuff. First off, ammo, both 9 and 5.56. Again, if you're like a lot of us, you probably got your drawer of extra holsters, your random assortment of things you've bought through the years and you don't use anymore. And that's cool, but shipping that all over the place, trucking it around, that's just extra stuff in your way. You don't really need it. So sort of paring down what you actually need is helpful. So for instance, if we're just doing what most of us do, take a rifle, pistol out to the range, 5.56, 9, then I've just got my two sources of ammo. I've got what I'm reasonably gonna have the time and or money to shoot and nothing else. You don't need to bring all this extra stuff, even though it is it's cool to flex on your friends. So if that's your thing, that's fine, but otherwise, no worries. Also super important, caffeine and water. Staying hydrated and full of energy and pep on the range, extra super duper important, and because you don't want to get hypoglycemic.
I'm hypoglycemic and hyperactive. I'm a hypo.
Got some great bull barrel jerky here. Beef jerky is an awesome thing just to have on the range because, get you some calories, get you some protein, and keep you going all day long so you can make your cool videos for Instagram. And that actually is kind of important. Not the Instagram part, though. Making sure you don't get too hungry and all, crazy in your head.
That was hurtful and unnecessary.
Next, and definitely more important than anything I've listed so far other than maybe the mags, is Ear Pro and Eye Pro. Definitely always have that with you. You really do not want to, even if you're shooting suppressed, Ear Pro is a good idea, especially after repeated exposure over the years. It can really affect your hearing. Obviously, always wear Eye Pro for sure. You really don't want to have, you never know when something's going to go wrong, and having good rated Eye Pro, ballistically rated Eye Pro, super duper important to protect your eyes because you really don't want to not see. On the topic of protecting yourself and shooting, you also want to make sure you've got all the stuff you need to work on your gun in case anything goes wrong. So for instance, here we've got our handy dandy wrench from Midwest. That's a great tool. They sell a lot of great tools, and it's just good to have basic tools on the range in case something goes wrong or you want to change up setups on your gun, different accessories, that kind of stuff. Also got a nice torque wrench set with all the different bits you're going to need to fit all your different accessories. It's a really handy thing to have. And again, you got these nice little packages like this where it keeps everything together and organized so it's not floating all over your bag. But in general, having tools is just important, and you don't need a ton. Again, right? We're just trying to bring everything we need, nothing we don't. So having some tools is a good idea. After that, a knife. Many of you probably carry knives on you, and that's fine. But we have this awesome little 30th anniversary knife we partnered with on. You can use this, you can use another one, it doesn't really matter, but having a knife is a super handy tool. That's why everyone should carry one. So having an extra one in your bag in case you forgot yours is good. Now, on to the topic of shooting itself, having note cards and a pen or a pad and paper, very important. You want to write down your data. Again, if you're going out and you're spending the time and money to buy all this stuff, to go out to the range, to train, recording data is actually super important. Now you can see here, I've got little rubber bands as well. Those are useful for a variety of things. I mean, they're rubber bands, right? We've all got them around our house. Set a couple aside, put them with your note cards, put them in your range bag, however you're going to do that. But whether that's holding stuff into your belt, onto your rifle, banding stuff together, like so I don't lose my note cards. These double as great targets as well for low percentage shots, but they also help you keep your notes organized. Yes, you can take notes on your phone. It is 2025 after all. However, there is just, for me, I'm old school, something about writing data down. Very nice, good to have. And then finally, we've got our clips for our targets. Most of us are going to be shooting paper most of the time, and that's a super helpful thing. It's way easier than trying to have like staples or screws or something like that to put your targets up. Nice little clamps here, super easy for your targets and target stands, all that jazz. And then finally, we've got another nice little Armageddon gear rest. This is going to be helpful confirming your zero, so you're not wasting ammo doing that whole shooting thing and you don't know why you're not hitting. It's extra helpful, as well as if you're shooting like PRS or long range, something like that. It's just a nice bag for stability. So that's a super cool thing you can find on our website as well, and it's just helpful in general. Now, that is the main compartment. As you can see, it's not a ton of stuff. It's, like we said, everything you need and nothing you don't. Moving to the front, a couple of other like quality of life things. So up front here, where if I can find the zipper, you've got our little shemagan. It's a rag. These are probably one of the most useful pieces of fabric you will ever own. They'll help keep you a little extra warm, a little cooler in the shade, wipe off your sweat, getting all sweaty running around the range. It's just a handy thing to have. And depending on what it's made out of, you can find some that are more heat resistant. It's handy dandy if you're gonna like cover up stuff that you don't want to get too hot, like your phone or whatever. And honestly, I've had times when my pistol or rifle have been super hot. Don't put a suppressor on them, but as hot as like a rail is gonna get or something like that, depending on the materials you may be laying your guns on, these are a nice barrier as well. So like I said, just a super useful general use piece of fabric. Up front here, we've got our zip ties, an extra flashlight. Again, checking chambers for safety, that kind of stuff, super important. Also, you don't think about it when it's out daylight super bright, but you sometimes need to look into shadowed areas and it can be kind of hard to see. A little extra flashlight will go a long way. And like I said, also checking dark chambers, that kind of stuff, super helpful for safety. Flashlight's always good. Zip ties, again, whether that's going to be locking down gear, locking down different accessories, cable management, all that kind of stuff. You never know when you're going to need them. And again, very easy to have on hand. And you can literally use a zip tie like we did here to secure the rest of your zip ties so you don't lose them. Then we've got these handy dandy little they're from Hub City Outdoors, but basically they're just elastic shock cord with a barrel lock on them. These are great if you want to put like gloves or hang something off your belt, cable management. Again, it's little, like I said, quality of life things that are going to help you on the range when you're like, I need to do this thing I didn't think of. You've got little accessories to help you out with that. And then finally, same idea, Ranger bands. Ranger bands are an absolute staple. As the name probably indicates, in the military. And again, great for all of your cable management, securing stuff to your rifle. They work great for putting stuff on your holsters like tourniquets or glow sticks, holding pins to your belt. All kinds of useful things you need. I need a little point of retention, stick a thing in there. Ranger bands are perfect for that. Now, like we said, maybe you're out on the range with your friends, and so it's always good, in case your friends did not come as prepared as you did, because they didn't watch this video, to have extra eye and ear pro. Now, it's not super nice Peltors like we have over there, but it's better than nothing. So some foamies and some basic, again, rated eye pro. Very good to always have in your range bag. Maybe you brought somebody new to the range, you're getting somebody else into shooting. Congratulations, good work. Then having this kind of extra stuff on hand, it's very, very cheap, and it's always good to just stick it in your range bag, forget about it until you realize you need it because they didn't bring it, and you've got it on hand, and you are the hero of the day, and that's super cool. Then in this pocket, we've got shock cord. Now, I segregated this because one, if you guys have ever done this thing where you put loose cordage in a bag with anything else, inevitably it is going to get tangled, tied up on stuff, and you're going to spend all day trying to untangle it. Keep it in its own bag, keep it in its own pocket, whether it's a pouch, a pocket, whatever. Keep your cordage separated, and then once you actually open this up and start using it, spending a little bit of time to manage it and tie it back up properly is going to save you a huge headache down the road. Whether it's paracord, shock cord, whatever, it's a super useful thing to have on hand. You never know when you're going to use it. You're going to use it for 1,000 different things you never thought of until you need it. But again, not just having it, but also keeping it managed, pretty important. Little tip there, ask me how I know. And then moving over here, we've got our, what I sort of call my bag of random things. Now, basically, this is just a Magpul, a docker pouch, and inside of it, I've got extra screws, rubber washers for my holster. Right over here, you can see, right, we got a Safariland with the True North MHA. Great products, we love those. But as you're running around over the years, falling down, doing all your cool ninja stuff on the range for Instagram, these things can loosen up, and inevitably, because all the screws are behind the holster, you don't notice. So you lose one, get super loose, two come out, and all of a sudden, it's not a stable platform anymore. It happens. Yes, you can thread lock them, but again, guys, if you order these, they're gonna come with extra screws, and you're either going to look at that and be like, huh, cool, throw it in a corner and forget it forever, or you can just keep it in the bag it comes in and drop it in your range bag. So inevitably, when that happens and you've got your tools, you can keep your holster and the mid drop running, and that's a very nice thing to do because you really don't want to get out of the range and realize I can't use my holster. Otherwise, Sharpie on the range, always got to have your Sharpie, marking targets. This actually works as for marking skin if you ever need to do like emergency medicine, that kind of stuff, marking method of injury, another super useful thing. It's a Sharpie, you need it on the range. Then I've got some extra rubber bands and a lighter. Now, you may or may not be like me and light fires to feel joy.
I set fires to feel joy.
Either way, having a lighter is super useful. You can fuse the cordage, you can use it to clean up little pieces of fabric and what we used to call IPs in the military on your gear, little extra strings and stuff. Again, extra useful thing to have, and that's why I have this as my bag of random useful accessories. And these docker pouches are a great way to organize the things that you don't really know where else to put, and they're really small items, easy to lose in your bag. These pouches are awesome for that. Finally, over here, we have multi-tool. So yes, we've got these tools over here, but this is going to have, again, a blade, a myriad of different accessories, and there are a ton of multi-tools out there. They're pretty affordable these days, and it's just a great thing, again, to have. You never know when you're going to need it. You can put it on your war belt. You can, maybe be like a super cool guy and wear this on your belt every day, or you can put it in your range bag. It doesn't really matter. Just having one, again, so much of this stuff is things we've learned over the years. I wish I had it at one time or the other, and now it's part of our range bag all the time. So having a multi-tool of some variety, definitely highly recommended. Then finally, wipes and lube. Yes, some of you may get back and clean your guns after every range trip. Some of you don't clean them for years. No judgment. Point is, at some point, you're going to need to lube your guns. They are mechanical equipment. And so having some wipes and some lube, very helpful to keep all the things running. And again, using your time efficiently and not spending time on the range doing extra cleaning or something like that because all of a sudden the gun went down. And then we've got our electrical tape and goon tape. So super useful items, again, super affordable. Throw them in your range bag, forget them until you need them. We use goon tape for cable management, for really effective heat shielding as well. You can wrap it around your mags for extra purchase, especially if you live like in the South and you're getting super hot and sweaty. It's very humid in the summer. You can put it around your grip. If you're not into different grip textures or whatever. Man, we've used it on Ear Pro to keep stuff together. Something breaks, you can tape it down. Same with the electrical tape. Again, these are just super useful things. You probably got to bump it around your house in like your everything drawer or something in your kitchen. Throw it in your range bag, keep it there, and you will not be sorry. And then we've got our target pasters. So going back to trying to be efficient as well as practical on the range, if you're shooting paper all day, at some point, unless you've got a bunch of money to buy a bunch of different targets, you're not changing them out all the time. These pasters, again, super cheap on Amazon. Put it on reorder and forget about it or whatever. You can get a pretty expensive paster gun if you want to, but these are not hard to peel off. Depending on the caliber you're shooting, you can tear it in half and even save them, to save money. But being able to track your hits, going back to that whole recording data thing, you're already spending the time out there on the range, right? Why not get the most out of your training, be able to keep track of your hits, keep track of how you're performing in your drills, all that kind of good stuff. Again, it's a good thing to have, and you can just chuck it here right in the range bag. So guys, that is our overview of our sort of basic range bag. Can you add a whole lot of extra stuff? Sure, of course you could. But like I started out saying, you only have a limited amount of time, you only have a limited amount of ammo. Bringing everything you need and nothing you don't is going to make your trip more enjoyable overall and more efficient. So what I want to hear about is what you think I missed down below in the comments. One, we appreciate the engagement, and two, we're always looking for new ideas and ways to be better on the range. Just because we've been doing this for a while doesn't mean we don't have things to learn. So, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, let me know what I missed down below. Train hard, live free. See you next time.